Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick video of 5 things I found out about watercolor painting in the last 3 months. This isn't the only thing I found out about watercolor painting in the last 3 months, for sure, but there are 5 of the most important things that I've made as discoveries or learned. But not all of them. There's lots of new skills that I've learned looking around and doing different exercises. So let's get into it. Okay, number 1, first thing I've learned, or first advice I have for you. Look around, use my website as a resource. That's what it's intended for, so that you can find different links and look at what other people are doing for lessons and find lessons that you might like. Or look around yourself. I'm just trying to be a time saver. Find an artist whose work you like. You need to take time to look at their work. Find an artist whose work you like and a person whose teaching style you appreciate. And then go with their stuff for a bit and see what they have to teach you. There's so many different channels about watercolor techniques and styles and how you can do this and make life easy that and etc, etc, etc. And a lot of it's about trying to pull your attention in to get you to watch their channel. I've got the easiest way for you to do this. Yeah, okay, that might be total bullshit, right? And it might be right, depends. But find somebody you like, find somebody you enjoy, and use them as your resource for a while. Okay, so number 2, YouTube isn't the end all. There's a lot of information on YouTube for sure. And it's easy to follow because it's videos and some of it's step by step. But it's not the end all. It's not everything. There are other blogs that I've found. I'm trying to link some of those in the things that I share with you guys. There are books, which I've got some on order. I need to actually look at them before I recommend anything because that just doesn't make sense for me. I need to look, right? And there are websites, right? At least one of those other websites I've used and have included in some of my exercises and show the link. So don't just get stuck watching YouTube. Look around, venture around, try to find other resources. All right, number 3, they're the experts. We aren't, right? So what I mean by that is they have lots of experience. They've been doing this for years, if not decades, where most of us who are out there looking to figure out watercolor painting have been doing it for less than a year. We're on months, right? Somebody asked me on my channel, how long have you been doing this? So the answer is 3 months, been actively doing this with the channel. Probably started painting seriously 6 months before that. Dabbled in it, one painting every once in a while, years ago. So I consider myself to be about 6 months in. So the other piece to that is they don't show you their mess ups. They don't always get perfect paintings. They don't always do everything right. Even the experts have bad days, right? So don't get discouraged. Things I've learned in the last 3 months. Number 4, palette management. So, previous palette, this, not much space to move or mix any of the paints, right? So I actually ended up having bowls that I would use, like plates off to the side. Now I've got a larger palette, which, let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. So you can see more of it. And one of the things I've learned is cleaning off your dried up paint helps keep really clean colors. It avoids sort of muddy, dull colors. Now, I don't clean every time I do things, right? This is from my last painting. And I will keep it if I'm using blues, right? Then I'll work into the blues if I need to mute something down and I have some, right? So I don't like throwing paint away because this is not cheap stuff. But I found that if I keep this and mix everything in there together, then I start getting muddy colors, not the bright, vibrant colors I want. So I keep that clean. I'm not sure if you can see, here, I'll use a paintbrush to paint the point. There's pigment in the back of all of these, and then some of these are actually dried. So there's pigment back here, and this is a pool of color that I've mixed with water and very saturated with the pigment, because I've been trying to figure out, frankly, how other people get very vibrant colors with the watercolors, and this is what I've found works for me, where I can pull this color right out. Obviously the brush will work like it'll absorb this. I can pull this right out and bring it over here and get a very vibrant blue, right? So when I'm painting, this is how I use the palette now, versus trying to take a little water and get the paint wet and like get some color out of it and bring it over here, right? I'm done with that. I have the color vibrant, ready to go right in the tin. So that's it. Palette management this has started to help my colors become more vibrant and be more readily available. What I've learned, number 5. 2 jars of water. Right? One, and why 2 jars? Always have clean water that's not muted by many different colors being mixed in it, to get your brush completely clean, or to add water to other colors in your palette. Right? You don't want to be adding this to your palette, your colors in your palette, to get them wet, or your washes in your palette. You want to use this. This is to wash your brush off and then make sure it's well clean, right? And then we can go here and go back to the palette or back to your washes, right? This is so you keep your mud on your feet, not on your painting, right? Good. 5 things I learned in the past 3 months trying to figure out how to do better watercolor paintings. Number 6. Yeah, I know. Number 6 out of 5. It's a bonus. Materials matter a lot. So when I first started, I had this little palette of Cotman, I think it's maybe Winsor Newton Cotman paints, which were fine. They were good, for sure. I have since gone to, I've got a larger palette, and I've got, you can see them all currently Daniel Smith professional grade. So the professional grade made a big difference in being able to get more vibrant and fuller colors. But painting techniques and things like that were pretty much the same either way. If you aren't ready to go for the professional grade, I would at least recommend going to tubed paints, which does make a difference. Just as convenient as these little palettes are, and the half pans are, the tube paint, I think, is better, at least in my experience, for painting. Alright, that's paint. Brushes. Brushes do matter, but, you know, they matter. So these are some of my older brushes, which I first started with here. Right, some of them are really cheap and awful, and some of them are somewhere in between, right? And now I'm actually starting to buy better brushes. They make a difference, right? This has a really nice tapered point where this doesn't, right? Same things happening here, more controlled. The size of this holds a lot of pigment and water and paint. So brushes matter. I would say that's number 2. Paint matters, brushes matter. What really, material-wise, made a big difference, this is where I started, right? Which is, you know, it's okay, but it's a wood-based watercolor book slash paper. Very little tooth to it, right? It's okay, but it definitely reacts to paint differently than these. I'm not recommending either or. I'm just recommending 100% cotton. At first I didn't like the cold press, which is more of a tooth to it, right? It's like a rough texture. I'm actually really enjoying it now. But the biggest difference of those three things was the paper. If there's one thing to invest in to make your materials better, it's better paper. All right, done.